Hey everyone, welcome back to See Self Awake. This is Mandy. Before we even start the episode today, just do one thing with me. Is notice your shoulders. Are they up near your ears? Are you holding your breath just a little? Yeah, I'm kind of in the same situation and position. So let me start somewhere honest. It's right now. Even as I'm talking to you, my body isn't actually okay. Like my left shoulder aches. There's this cord just running down my arm all the way to my little finger, like someone's pulling it tight and just won't let go. And my chest feels heavy, like there's a weight sitting on it. I just keep trying to put down, but I can't. And maybe you know this feeling too. Because here's a strange thing I've noticed about myself is when I'm busy, when I'm running from one thing to the next, I don't feel any of it. I'm moving too fast to notice and my body just goes quiet. Not because it's actually fine, but because I've just stopped listening to it. So it's only when I stop, when I finally sit down, when I let myself do nothing for just a moment, that all of it shows up at once. The shoulder, the chest, the tired I've been out running all day, and the thoughts they come to right behind the body. Like they'd been waiting for me finally hold still. And that's when it hit me. Is the tension was never gone. I was just too busy to feel it. And maybe that's true for you too, maybe for a lot of us. Being busy was never actually rest. It was just a way to not feel how tired we actually are. And that's what I want to talk about today. This kind of tension isn't actually weakness, it's just your body screaming on your behalf, carrying what your mind keeps insisting is fine. And there's even an idea in the psychology where you hold it means something. A tight chest, often grief. You never let yourself feel. The tight shoulder is the weight of something that was never yours to carry. And I thought about my own shoulder, that cord running down to my little finger, just I mentioned. I asked myself, like, what am I carrying that I never agreed to? So I want to talk about this is I want to ask you the way I've been asking myself is why is it so hard to just stop? Like completely just stop. Because I'll be honest with you, I think you deserve the real answer, not just the pretty one. The pressure I'm carrying right now, it feels huge. But there's this quieter voice in me that says maybe I'm the one who's putting it all there, like on my own body, on my own mind, because a lot of it is the money, the survival of it, because we are in the reality world that if we want to survive, we need financial support, no matter if it's us providing it, if it's family. And then in my situation is I work for myself, I own my own business. And there's no fixed paycheck waiting for me at the end of the month. So I just have to keep creating, keep moving, keep making it happen. And some months, for business situations, we would lose. So the voice starts up with, like, if I don't do this, who will? If I stop carrying this, it all falls apart. And before I know it, I'm just telling myself, like, I must work harder. I must hold it all together. Like, I'm the person, the solely person who is responsible for everything in my life. And then here's the part I don't always want to look at is those musts, they are mine. Like nobody walked in and handed them to me. I picked them up, I put them on my own back, and then I think, okay, well, if I pick them all up, then let me just drop them. Like relax. And then what? That's my next question. The rent doesn't stop because I decide to breathe. My family doesn't stop, the bills don't stop, the fear is real, and it doesn't disappear just because I want them to. So I look at the to-do list and it never ends. And my body won't let go because there's still so much left to do. And that's when I look at my to-do list every single day, morning, night. There's just so much to do. And not resting slowly becomes its own kind of weight as well for myself. It's like I grind on myself for not being further along, and the body just gets tighter, and then the whole thing loops. It's like a negative loops that I'm stuck in. Maybe you live somewhere inside that loop too, and that's the thing I want to sit with you in today, not from above, from inside it, right where you are, right where I'm at, like exactly at this moment. And that's what I want to talk about today. And because here is what I keep running into, even when I try to relax, I feel like I can't. Like my body, my mind, they just can't really relax. And let me give you the simplest version of this is falling asleep. Those nights you can't sleep, so you try. Maybe you have the sleeping issues, some of you might not have. And then what I always try to do is I try to count sheep. That's one of the things that people say. Or I put on some music or audiobooks. That's something I try. So I just lay there, eyes shut, just waiting for the falling asleep or the asleep moment happens. And then the harder I try to fall asleep, the more awake I'm somehow just more awake. And have you ever stopped to ask why? Did you try to kind of figure out when our brain keeps saying, like, okay, I need to sleep, I need to sleep? That thought in your mind just keeps running and it's still working. It's your brain that's still working. And you tell your body to rest. It's like I just try to tell myself, like, okay, you need to rest. You need to, it's like 12 o'clock or 1 o'clock or whatever the time is. I'm like, okay, you need to go to sleep. But the harder I try, to tell my body, it's actually just keep the switch on, your brain switch on, because your brain is still running, still, working on thinking, and you're not actually resting. And then at some point, you give up, just like how I did. Like I stopped chasing it. The mind of, okay, I need to go to sleep or I need to fall asleep by now, is I actually put on something quiet, like, like I said, the audiobook or the white noise. So I just let my mind wander off and I forget how I was even trying to sleep. And that's exact the moment it finally came. So isn't that strange? Like we do this with almost everything. Sleep was never something that, you could force. It comes the moment when you stop reaching for it. Like when your brain actually stopped running, that's when you'll actually be able to fall asleep. So I'm not just making this up from my own little life, because have you ever heard of the default mode network? So I came across it a while back and honestly it stuck with me because it just really makes sense to me. So here's what it means is, in plain words, when you stop, when you are not locked onto a task, your brain doesn't switch off. It quietly actually goes to work in the background, in your unconscious, quietly connecting things, making sense of everything you've been living. But here's the part that actually matters for you and me. It's the answer, the calm, the good ideas. It doesn't actually come while you're chasing it. It comes when you finally stop chasing. And once you see that, you start to notice it everywhere. So let me tell you when I actually feel it. I mean the relax. Not just an idea, but in my own body, because that's when I realize I'm actually relaxing. Actually finally reaches to the moment or the feeling that I have and actually worked. So it's like by the lake or up on the mountain, the view just opens up wide and quiet right in front of me. So I feel the breeze move across my face. I feel the space, the bigness of it, and something in me just lets go. So my shoulders drop, my breath gets deeper, my mind, for once, it goes soft, like quiet or slow, the words that you want to use. And for the longest time, I thought it was the hiking, the fresh air, the exercise, the pretty view. I thought relaxation was the activity that I was doing, that if I just did that right thing, I'd feel it again. But I realized that that's not it, because I've watched myself closely enough now to know that It's that out there, I finally drop into this moment. I'm not running 10,000, thoughts at once, and I'm not in yesterday or 3 weeks from now, which in that worry feeling or anxiety. In that moment, I just feeling the breeze, taking in the view, and just being present, like being here. And that's the difference, because most of the days my mind is everywhere. 100 little thoughts pulling in hundreds directions, and I don't even notice how much that quiet like tightens me. Because a scattered mind, I'm telling you, is its own kind of pressure. Like you can be sitting completely still and still be exhausting yourself from the inside, because that's just how I am. Like my mind runs thousands miles per hour. You can say that. That's how fast it goes. So it was never the mountain when I realized it was the moment I stopped being everywhere and it finally landed here. Like wherever I was, whatever I was doing, just be present. So then the real question becomes is like, how do you actually do that? Like, how do you drop into that moment on purpose? Because once I noticed that was helping me to being relaxed, like being present, I started to looking for it. Like I was starting to searching, to wanting to on purpose, like I said, be in that moment so I can feel relaxed. And think about why, in yoga or in meditation, they almost always start you with just breathe, the breathing exercise. Because most people think, oh, it's about the breathing itself. It's actually not really, in my understanding. The breath is just a place to put your attention, one single point to keep coming back to, and when the mind runs off again. So follow it in, follow it out, and while you're following it, your mind isn't spinning anymore. It's just here on this one quiet thing. And here's what's freeing. It doesn't have to be the breathing exercise, not the breath. It can almost anything. The muscle you're working in a workout, the wind on your face, like I said, being on the mountain or just open field, feeling the breeze to your face, and a leaf moving, the sound in the room, a single step on the trail, or even like the white noise I talked about, leaf blowing or water streaming. Anything that gives your attention one place to land. And that's all being present really is. So, not some big spiritual achievement, just one point in the now. And that's enough to bring you home. And the home is to yourself, inner self, and being relaxed. So, let me give you a few things that I actually come back to. Not rules, just small things for me to catch myself gripping or doing to help me relax. So, the first one is all through the day, I try to just notice my body. How am I sitting? Is my breath shallow or does it actually reach down? Is my jaw tight? Are my shoulders up by my ears? I'm not forcing anything. I just notice first and then I make one small adjustment. Just sit up a little, let one breath go deeper, let the shoulders drop, because honestly, the hard part was never the relaxing. It's just remembering to notice at all. And then the second, I give myself little moments to take my mind off everything. In the middle of the day, I'll just look out the window at some green or something far away and let myself zone out just for a little while. It can be a second, a minute or longer if you can do that. Or at night, once I've like all washed up, I lie down and do my, red light therapy and put on an audiobook. Nothing productive, just something that lifts my mind off the day, because throughout the day your mind is running for work, for like yourself, kids, family, anything, just random stuff. And then the third, like this one matters more than it sounds. I keep something I can lose myself in. For me, it's puzzle. I love puzzle because focused enough that my mind finally goes quiet. The best part is I can walk away whenever I want and come back to it later. No pressure, no deadline, just me, one piece at a time. This is something that, yes, your mind is still running because you're thinking about how to put things together, but it's not something that I find stressful. Like I have to have everything complete. And it's more of a word for myself, say like, okay, I've worked hard, for a period of time, and then now it's time to relax a little bit. There's something I can focusing, and even just one piece achievement for myself to cheer myself up. And that's how I relax, that I find myself being able to relax. And today, I want to leave you with something that took me a long time to understand. For years, I treated rest like it was waiting for me, somewhere up ahead, after next deadline, after things calm down, after I finally earned it, like there was a day coming when I'd be allowed to breathe. But have you noticed that day keeps moving? It was after school, then after I'm settled, then after I make it. It's just always one more push away. So here's what I slowly learning to do instead is not wait. Like I don't wait anymore. To stop handing this moment over to some day that never quite arrives. To let the rest be now, not a reward I'm still trying to deserve. And then there's an old image I keep coming back to is still water. So when the surface is churning, when the wind and the waves are going, you can't see anything in it, but the moment it goes still, the moon is just there. You don't make the moon appear, you don't force the reflection, you just let the water settle and it shows up on its own. And your mind and mine, they are the same. We can't force the calm, we can't stop staring the water, because here's the thing I keep relearning the hard way. When you're trying so hard to relax, you can't. Because the moment you stop trying, you're actually relaxed. And I'm not telling you any of this from the other side of it. Like my own hand is still clenched. I'm still learning to open it one finger at a time. And maybe that's exactly why I wanted to talk to you today. Not because I figure it all out, but because maybe you and we can loosen our grip together right here, right now. So before you go, let's do one small thing together. Wherever you are, let your shoulders drop. Let one breath go all the way out. You don't have to fix anything today. You don't have to chase anything. Just be here with me for one more second. And here's what I hope for you. It's not that life gets lighter, but that you stop bracing against it. That you can set the weight down, even just for tonight, and remember, you were never meant to carry all of it alone. And this is See Self Awake. I'm in it with you. See truly, live freely, and I'll see you next time.